Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I live in Mountain Village, Colorado. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace where I have a page. Anyhow, this is a concept of mine to help deal with American corporations going overseas and paying people slave wages. Like a day or $1 an hour. Even though in some countries that might be a lot of money, it's still slave wages. This concept also deals with repairing America's image abroad due to the fact that these American corporations that go overseas to places like India, China, Mexico, El Salvador, Panama, they do some very bad damage in those countries to our image because of the low pay and in many cases no benefits at all. So here is a way that all of this can be dealt with. I was really hoping President Bush would do it. He never did. I have my doubts about President Obama will do this either. But if you like this idea that I'm about to pitch, please pitch it to your congressional representative. Put it in the letter to the editors, whatever, but make sure it's heard because it's very important. This could really change how people think about us around the world a little bit. Because a lot of American corporations have really given us a really bad image because of the way they treat foreign workers when they move over there seeking cheap labor. Simply put, let me do it this way. Simply put, if I were President of the United States, I would simply make this very clear to all American corporations that have left the country and that are going to leave, and those that are going to leave. Simply put, you will pay a living wage to whatever country you go to, and I will have the people in my cabinet that will decide what that is. If you do not pay them a living wage, and that means a wage that where they can get a little bit ahead. It's not exactly like our living wage, but they get further ahead. Something that's a wage that is not insulting to the nation, and doesn't leave them stuck in a state of poverty continuously. And that's what a lot of these foreign workers remain in, poverty. Despite the fact they got the job, they still remain in poverty because they don't make enough. They just make enough just to make ends meet, and sometimes that's not even enough. If you refuse to pay them a living wage, that members of my cabinet would decide, and I will be the final judge of it. You will not sell any of those products that are made over there back into the United States. It's as simple as that. You will not sell it back to us. The American consumer will not be allowed to buy it from you, whether within this country or even across the internet. Of course, I don't know if I can do that across the internet, but I would try. That right there might get their attention, because these are corporations that are going over there to places like Mexico and insulting these people with low wages like they do, like they pay. Damages our image, and it's just downright insulting. It's bad enough that a lot of these corporations want cheap labor here in America. Now they've gone outside this country looking for it, and they're just what they pay is just downright insulting. They wouldn't do that in Europe. American corporation goes to Germany, you can be sure they're going to get paid decent wage. But if they go to Haiti, Jamaica, Mexico, China, India, they're going to pay them slave wages. They're going to pay them as little as they can. But if you're white, apparently we wouldn't do that to you. Or if you're Canadian, of course, no disrespect to the Europeans or Canadians. That's just the way our system is set up. But we take people who are non-white primarily, and live in a third world country, and we pay them slave wages. That should stop. And you should contact your congressional representative and ask them and demand that they pass this on into legislation, present it, pitch it, whatever, that they would pass a law that the Obama administration and future administrations will set the wages for every American corporation that leaves this country to another country. And if they don't pay those people a certain wage, I just call it a living wage, they will not sell their products back into this country, period. End of subject. And I think that some of them might stay here now because of it. And those that do leave, at least the people there that are working there can get ahead some. And it helps our image just out a little bit. It's not being a bunch of slave masters. This country, had slavery right from its beginning, and we still haven't seemed to have gotten away from that. I'm aware that slavery is, it's you own the person, but the way we treat people abroad sometimes and within this country is almost as bad as we treat a slave from long ago, from the 1800s or before the Civil War. Of course, not a whole lot has really changed in some ways. We still always look for cheap labor, and that's what slaves were, cheap labor. And that's why many of us call it slavery, the way immigrants are treated. And I call it slavery because of the way we treat people abroad who work for American corporations, because of their race, and like in Mexico, or El Salvador, or Costa Rica, or India, we just treat them almost as non-human. And that doesn't help our image whatsoever. So anyhow, if you like this idea, I hope that you will pitch it to your congressional representative, and don't give up on it, because it can make it makes a difference in the lives of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people around the world. But we should not be allowing American corporations to go overseas and pay people wages that are just unbelievably low, so they can make a bigger profit and they can sell it cheaper here. And it's even a bigger insult for us to buy that garbage. Our American government needs to set a living wage, and if they want to sell that product back into this country, they will pay these people, depending on what country they're in, a wage that, in this case, would be the Obama administration, would set. And if they don't set it at that wage, they don't sell nothing back here, period. It's as simple as that. Thank you for your time.